Welcome everyone, this is Zozo Stockwatch, and this is your Stockwatch list for Thursday, July 27th. Before we get into that Stockwatch list though, let's take a look what happened after the bell today. We had a lot of earnings come out after the bell. Gilead, and we'll take a quick look at that. And Gilead popped and held most of the gains. LVS came out with earnings, popped, pulled back, and lost the gains in after hours on their earnings. Next one up was WLL, and not much reaction to Whiting Petroleum on that earnings per share beat. We did have Facebook come out with earnings after the bell. That was the major one. And as you see, they dropped it down initially down to 158, and then they brought it all the way back up to 173 on Facebook, and now holding above the 170 mark on FB. Buffalo Wild Wings didn't fare as well, as you can see, with their earnings, and they came out with earnings and they popped the stock and then dropped it down here to the lows, and it remains near the lows. Buffalo Wild Wings adjusted earnings per share misses estimates, 66 cents versus $1.05. So I guess we're all cutting back on our chicken wing consumption. So that was Buffalo Wild Wings. FFIV, that also tanked in after hours on their earnings. Gilead also raised guidance. Let me just make that clear too. After hours, PayPal beat on earnings, PYPL. So we had a nice pop and holding most of the gains on PayPal, and so that one might be interesting for tomorrow. Let's see, I'll scroll through some of these other earnings for you. XL, EPS, and revenue beat on XL. Facebook, somebody pointing out that gained all its losses back. FTNT, that's cybersecurity name, FTNT. That one basically, lost all of its gains on their earnings, and it says that the earnings per share and revenue beat, but maybe they lowered guidance. I'm not sure on that, but they did not hold their gains. XLNX, XLNX, this is semiconductor name, and this one popped and held its gains, and actually holding up near the highs on this XLNX, so nice for them. Let's see what else came out. IMAX had an earnings per share, but revenue miss. And that stock dropped in after hours. PayPal raises financial guidance for the full year, so they're good for PayPal. That's good news. Whirlpool, WHR earnings per share and revenue miss. And let's see if there was anything else on the agenda. We did have some purchases after hours. TTS Form 4 direct to purchase 10,000. TTS Form 4 direct to purchased over 29,000. So a couple of insider purchases for TTS, and there were some yesterday too on TTS. And then this came out after the bell. CPN Energy Capital said to be in advanced talks to acquire Calpon CPN, so that's circulating, and that stock was up in the after hours. You see the gap up in CPN, so that one I think is going to be on my watch for tomorrow, and I'll be right back with more information. So here's a quick look at your overnight futures, and the Dow futures are up 11, the S&P futures are up 4, and the NASDAQ futures are up 20 in the overnight session. It's 7:18 my time, and so the futures are looking good so far. For your for your economic information for tomorrow, the 27th, Thursday, 8:30, we have the Chicago Fed National Activity Index, 8:30 international trade, durable goods at 8:30, initial jobless claims at 8:30. We have the Nat Gas report at 10:30. 11 a.m. we have the Kansas City Fed Manufacturing Index. If you're wondering what happened with the FOMC meeting today, basically they did not raise rates as we thought they wouldn't, and so it was basically came and went. And that's it for your economic information. Next up, I'll just show you earnings cast, and you do have a plethora of earnings calls tomorrow. I mean, it is, Twitter is going to be on an earnings call tomorrow, so you have tons of earnings coming out for tomorrow to keep yourself busy. So if you're in something like a Twitter, just make sure you're aware that the earnings are coming out tomorrow, and they will be on a conference call, and you can go to Earnings Cast and see what time the call is going to be. As far as some stocks that were top gainers today, iRobot, TTPH, BCO. TTPH did an offering after the bell, so I'll just mention that. SLB, SIGM, Boeing was a huge winner today for the Dow. I think that's what held up the Dow today. UFI, US Steel, SIX, and OC, and most of these were on earnings. Some losers, DCIX, and they're doing another reverse split 1-for-6 on DCIX, and that was down. LXU, SDRL was down. EGRX, ROSG, TGI, AMD, AKAM, USNA, and ENT, all top losers for the day. And some of your options activity on the call side for the unusual options activity: ATVI, DXC, HL, JD, PANW, SNAP, unusual call activity, SPWR, WY. On the put side for the unusual, ALKS, MGM, VRX, and Urban on the unusual put side. And I just wanted to show you that offering on TTPH since I mentioned it, and this is from the Trade Exchange News Desk. TTPH announces proposed public offering of common stock. TTPH underwritten offering of 60 million of shares of its common stock. So there's the news on TTPH. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the markets. The SPY, Teflon SPY, I guess we're calling it. Nothing can bring it down right now. Just messing around with those all-time highs on the SPY. The volume today was 40, we'll call it 48 million shares. So still, light summer trading going on in the SPY, but bears are unable to knock it down. We're still riding above the 10, the fast-moving averages, the 5 EMA here on the daily chart. Let's see, we'll take a look at the USO, and nice continuation move in the USO today. We were up 1.53% on the USO. XOIL, the oil, WTI, nice pop in that, also up at about 2% on oil since we've come off that 42 spot and we've moved up to 49. So nice move in oil. Just note that we do have that 50 spot coming up on oil, WTI, and the 200 flattened out here on the daily. So we'll see if they want to take it up to there, and then what do they want to do. And then back at the USO, we are at this 100 SMA on the USO, so and that $10 spot. Okay, so some other things. We'll take a look also at the OIH, which is not really following the oil move so far on the OIH, and this is the service sector of the oils. And XOM not doing much following either. So ExxonMobil still digesting and staying under this 50 SMA. Some other things that did look got pops today. Gold was up. GDX, this is the gold miners ETF. Nice pop in that on over 63 million shares. GDXJ, the junior miners, also popped on over 20 million shares. So the miners, the gold miners, getting some buying today. GLD, I'll show you that chart. Nice pop in that. And so now we're at a nice resistance spot, and we'll see if this is going to carry over for tomorrow. And the reason this is happening is because the dollar is weakening. All right, so we have the dollar UUP is the ETF for the dollar, and you can see that's trending down. USD is the dollar, and USD. And let me get on the right one here. Here you go. And you see the US dollar is trending down and, breaking, down to that 93 spot on the US dollar. So, that's the action going on, and that's what's causing some of these miners to move up. Here's silver with SLV, which is coming up to the 50 SMA, the yellow line right here. Now, can we continue up through that, 50 SMA? We'll have to see and watch. But I do have some silver stocks on watch for tomorrow. QQQ, that was up nicely today again. And probably with Facebook, pushing higher, that might push higher. Tomorrow in earnings, we have Amazon coming out, and I'll get more into that in a moment. IWM, we were up, breaking out, and now we've pulled back, but we're still above the 5 EMA, so you can't complain about that. IWC, which is the micro caps, still can't get above this resistance line here on the micro caps. BA was the big winner in the Dow today, and you see that was up close to 10% for the day, almost 21 points for Boeing alone, and that was on their earnings. The concern is this IYT, the transportations, and you see we're still holding above the 50 SMA. UPS does have earnings tomorrow, so we're going to see what UPS can do for the transports. But some of the stocks that are taking a hit, you have Union Pacific, which is a railroad, CSX, which is a railroad, trying to hold that 100 SMA. NSC had earnings today, and then they got blasted and pushed down, so we'll see if that can recover. Some of the airlines that are taking a hit, AAL, but we talked about these in yesterday's video. They were down so many days in a row that they did get a bounce, and AAL did. UAL also bouncing a bit, and JetBlue was the one that was the strongest, and that lost the 50 SMA today. LUV did bounce a little bit and trying to hold this 100 SMA. So that's the weakness in the IYT. And then FedEx, which is a major part of the IYT, holding steady, can't complain. It's holding above the 5 EMA, and it did have, this pullback seems normal to me, so nothing major to be concerned about. But the IYT itself, trying to hold this 50 SMA. So that's your IYT. So some of your major earnings tomorrow before the bell for July 27th, you have MO, Philip Morris, you have Budweiser, AZN, Bristol Myers, BMY, CCJ tomorrow before the bell, Celgene, Charter Communications, Cliff Resources, CLF, CSTM also coming out with earnings before the bell. And I'll just scroll through IP. So you see the enormous amount of earnings coming out. Valero, VLO, UPS before the bell, Twitter before the bell, Southwest Airlines before the bell. After the bell, we have Amazon coming out with earnings, Sam Adams coming out with earnings, Deckers coming out with earnings. Who else? EA, Electronic Arts, First Solar, Expedia, EXPE, Intel will be tomorrow, CLAC will be tomorrow, CLAC. So Skyworks Solutions will be out tomorrow, VRSN, VCRA, and Western Digital, WDC. So there's a bunch of earnings coming out before and after the bell tomorrow, and just want to make you aware of that. So Amazon, everybody will be watching that after the bell, so be aware that Amazon is reporting tomorrow. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our stocks to watch for tomorrow. Advanced Micro Devices will be on watch tomorrow. Since that XLNX had good earnings, we'll see if AMD wants to participate again tomorrow. APRI, this one popped today, 1.7 million shares. Let me open the chart for you. APRI. Nice pop, so keep an eye on this one. Intraday might make a move. ARGS for you, low, under $1 penny players. This one had nice volume today, so you might get a trade in this one for tomorrow. ARWR, big pop on this one, so I'll be looking for maybe a continuation move through $1.90, $1.95 to break 2, or some kind of pullback. 2.4 million shares traded. ATUS looks like a recent IPO for over 400,000 shares. Maybe if we can get over that 31.75 again, we might get a continuation move in this ATUS. AXTI, this is semiconductor name, and it's basing under this 775. It's tagged it up here and pulled back from it. So if we can get over that 775, Maybe we'll get a continuation move. It's holding all the fast moving averages. CAPR, organized pullback here, holding the 20 SMA, which is the red line right here. And we'll see if this one wants to maybe turn back up on CAPR. Next one is CPN, only because there's those takeover rumors that I spoke about, and we'll see if this one has any movement in it tomorrow. CRM after the bell popped up to 91.20, so I'll have this one on watch. You see the daily chart was setting up nicely, and now it's gone ahead and popped in after hours, so I'll see if there's some kind of play in CRM. DVAX, you know, this one was a wild one today, huge volume, so we'll see if this sets up on an intraday chart. You see $11 is giving it a hard time, and so maybe back over 10.50, but we'll see if it sets up with a decent, you know, stop. ETRM exploded up today, you know, came up to that 525 spot, 2.3 million shares. We'll see what this one wants to do intraday, since it pulled back all the way to 462, so we'd have to reset. FCEL, I think they got contracts today, so a big pop in this one, and so we'll see how this sets up. 8 million shares traded in FCEL. PLUG could be a possible sympathy play. They gapped up, pulled back, now they're holding the 5 EMA on plug, and BL, was it Ballard Power, BLDP? Yep, that's the one. Okay, so this one not as nice, so not really interested in that one. A couple of gold names I'm going to have on watch. GFI, see if there's any kind of continuation through $4. You see the volume that came in, 8 million shares, GFI. GMED, medical devices. The daily setting up nicely here. You know, if we can clear maybe that 33.38, 33.40, we have a high today, 33.23, so maybe over 33.30 might give us a continuation move in that name. GNCA, this one, you know, is back, it's over its 50, it's holding the 5 EMA. It did give a, you know, a decent move today. So we'll see if this one can set up on GNCA, biotech name. IFON, under $1 name, but big volume, almost 12 million shares. This one pushed up, pulled back, closed at 61 cents. Not a favorite, but you know, we'll have it on watch, and I know a lot of people like to play those under $1 names. Macy's, you know, curling up here, holding above the 50 SMA for the last couple of days, holding the 5 EMA. Looks like it wants to maybe try to get over that 23.70 spot. 23.64 was that recent high, and so we'll see if it wants to get over 23.70 and maybe continue up through 24 on Macy's. MAG is a silver name, and you see the nice candle here. Only 400,000 shares traded though, but you know, over, you know, let's call it 1380, 1385. Maybe we continue up through you know, 14, but probably, you know, a low volume stock. You see the pop it had here in the after hours on MAG. MBRX, this one had a nice pop today. 5.5 million shares. Looking for this maybe to set up again, and you know, 250 looks like the number that it's trying to get out above, so if we can get over that, but we're at 218 now, so I would think maybe over 230 you might get a continuation move, but let it set up on a 5-minute or 2-minute chart. NG, one of these gold names, nice pop off the 50 SMA, 3.4 million shares traded. Looking for it to take out maybe that 460, 465 on NG. ON, this is a semiconductor name. Looking for that 1575 takeout and maybe a continuation. Almost 8 million shares traded. PAAS is a silver name, you know, so it's coming off the bottom. Still has a lot of work to do, but you know, looking for it to maybe take out 1710. Maybe a continuation move. Not a favorite though, but has a lot of work to do yet. BDLI, this one, you know, shaping up. It bounced off the 100, nice hammer candle here. Looking for it to take out, you know, 250, 255. Biotech name, see if this one can get moving. PayPal, because it had the gap up on the earnings, and we'll see if this can set up intraday. I think they have a deal with Citibank too. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I thought I heard that. RGLS. I traded this one today. Got a small gain out of it. So I'll have it on watch again for tomorrow. It looks like the 100 SMA is giving it a hard time. This 130 spot. So maybe if it can clear that. I would think maybe over 125 might get it going again, possibly. Snap, just because, you know, it keeps dragging down, and I just keep it on watch to see if there's any kind of play in it. You know, you see there's like a gap down here. It's snapped up, so we'll see maybe if it's getting down towards the bottom. So I'll keep an eye on it. SSRI, another silver name. See if this can get any kind of continuation. We're below the 200 SMA, but 2 million shares came in on SSRI today, so keep it on watch. Maybe there's a continuation move. You see there's that triangle consolidation right here, and then you can basically go like that, and there's your wedge pattern. So if we can break out over that wedge, possibly we get a continuation move in SSRI. TEAR, this one, you know, holding this 5 EMA, looking for it to take out that $3 302 spot on TEAR tier, and to maybe make a continuation move. So it's been, you know, flagging and holding their gains and holding this 5. Maybe we're just waiting for you know, that break of 3 and hold of 3. Wix, we spoke about this one in a couple of videos ago, and it is continuing up. The high today on Wix is 77.15, so maybe over 77.15 we get the break push through 78. WPM, this used to be the old Silver Wheaton SLW, then they became Wheaton Precious Metals, silver name, and 3 million shares traded, looking for that 2050 break on the old SLW, which is the symbol WPM now. All right, so that's the stocks on watch for tomorrow, and bunch of information to get you ready for tomorrow also. I thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Please hit the subscribe button, and also retweet these videos if you like them, and thank you for all your support on the YouTube channel. We're growing really fast, and I want to grow faster. All right, have a very nice evening, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. I usually make a stock market report in the morning around 8 o'clock-ish. All right, so be on the lookout for that. Have a very nice evening. Thank you very much for listening.